Opinion, JAMB 2017 Matters Arising by Reuben Abati. Editor's Note: Registration for the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, 2017-2018 has been very hectic for some candidates. Candidates and parents complained bitterly about the process, which many found very challenging. Reuben Abati, the special advisor to the former President Goodluck Jonathan on media and publicity, in this piece talks about the challenges of the country's educational system. According to him, higher education admission processes should reflect the country's manpower needs, and there is no doubt that at the moment, there is a mismatch between our country's manpower production processes and the job market. I attended a meeting recently at the headquarters of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board in Bwari, Abuja, the post-2017 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination Review meeting chaired by the JAMB Registrar, Professor Ishaqal Oid. Participants included Professor Aloid and his technical team, field officers and other staff, all the chief external examiners who supervised the 2017 UTM, across Nigeria, mostly vice-chancellors of universities, and provosts, rectors of polytechnics and colleges of education, in addition to major stakeholders from civil society. The JAMB Registrar presented a detailed report on the conduct of the 2017 UTM. Matters arising were identified, and the meeting took certain decisions about the way forward, the details of which have since been published. The 2017 UTM was conducted throughout Nigeria between Saturday 13th and Saturday 20th of May 2017, at 140 examination centers, 642 computer-based test centers, with 7,000 invigilators and monitors, and 236 candidates. It was the first examination to be conducted under Professor Aloid's watch as JAMB Registrar. He was full of appreciation for the efforts and contributions of everyone, including the civil society and security agencies who helped to ensure the success of the examination. The meeting noted that Aloid and his team had also done an excellent job in organizing a commendable computer-based examination across the country. In recent years, JAMB has insisted on computerizing its examinations, and under Aloid, there has been not only an emphasis on this but also on the integrity and credibility of the examination. The report presented by the JAMB Registrar was comprehensive, confident and informative. In 2017, JAMB examined the highest number of candidates in its 40 years of existence, 1.7 million, with the highest number of participating external officials and monitors. The first point the meeting noted, however, was that the figure of 1.7 meters does not actually reflect the true number of candidates who sat for the examination. More than 300 of the candidates engaged in double or triple registration, and where it could be established that any candidate sat for the examination more than once, such a candidate was automatically disqualified. A total of 666 cases were reported in this regard. For planning purposes, the figure of 1.7 meters was misleading, a fact that was worsened by the fact that more than 50 of the candidates do not even have the prerequisite qualifications, and in reality, more than 70 of all candidates applied for courses in the arts and social sciences, whereas for national manpower development purposes, the expectation is that the sciences should produce up to 70. The message here is clear: higher education admission processes ought to reflect the country's manpower needs, and there is no doubting the fact that at the moment, There is a mismatch between our country's manpower production processes and the job market, and this is perhaps in a way responsible for the country's unemployment crisis. As it were, Nigeria's higher education system produces graduates that do not fit into the demands of the job market. Aloyd was more agitated about matters of integrity, credibility, accountability and transparency. He asked the meeting to take a close look at cases of examination irregularities and malpractice and take a decision. We were informed that a total of 386 candidates, all properly identified and documented, were guilty of the following offenses: impersonation, possession of prepared answer scripts, smuggling of foreign materials into the examination venue, possession of electronic gadgets including telephone, copying and spying from foreign materials, unruly behavior, violent conduct, collusion, multiple registration and examinations. We were all shocked when Aloyd asked his staff to present to the meeting concrete evidence of examination malpractice. We were shown shirts, with presumed answers written out in the inner lining, slippers, belts, handkerchiefs, and all kinds of strange devices that candidates across the country smuggled into examination centers. It turned out that a criminal gang had developed around the UT, involving persons who deceived candidates into believing that they had access to examination questions. Such questions with prepared answers were sold to candidates ahead of the examination. But according to JAMB, this was meaningless, because the examination questions were sent electronically to the centers only on the day of the examination, and JAMB did not use the same set of questions, at any time, either in the morning or the afternoon. The bigger problem came from the operators of the computer-based test centers, who colluded with candidates and parents to compromise the examination. Many of these CBT centers collected gate fees, ranging from N2,000 to N20,000 and higher. They recruited thugs, they deliberately created technical problems to assist candidates to cheat. In some cases, the CCTVs installed by JAMB were either switched off or covered up. Some centers also ran parallel communication cables to secret rooms where ghost candidates who had done what is called 8x2 fingerprinting, involving a candidate and a substitute, ghostwrote the examination. Aloyd reported that JAMB did its best to track down all the fraudulent centers. Across the country, 25 centers were involved in center-induced malpractice, with 646 candidates. Some other centers had technical issues, and in total, JAMB proposed that 72 centers in 18 states of the Federation should either be delisted or suspended. We considered the report on every affected center on a case-by-case basis, with each chief examiner responding to further inquiries, and at the end, the meeting resolved that 48 centers involved in extortion and malpractices should be delisted, while 24 centers should be suspended for a year. The statistics on 2017 UT malpractice is noteworthy. Most of the affected states are from the Southeast and South-South as follows: Abia, 381 cases, Imo, 193, Anambra, 152, Enugu, 114, Cross River, 78, Ebonyi, 48, Akwa Ibom, 44, while the states with the lowest number of cases are from the north viz., Kebbi, 1, Kaduna, 16, Kano, 29, Katsina, 2, Kogi, 7, Sokoto, 25, Taraba, 4, Zamfara, 1. Yobe and Jigawa states had no reported case of examination malpractice, only 2 cases of multiple registration from the latter. Could it be then that students and CBT operators in the North are more honest than their Southern counterparts, or perhaps less computer savvy? Does the 2017 UTM say anything about national character? Our deliberations did not cover this particular detail, but the meeting became more exciting when the involvement of parents, particularly mothers, was reported. In one center, a mother was said to have approached the chief examiner to ask him to assist her daughter to pass the examination. The chief examiner reportedly told her to leave the examination venue, but she insisted that if the chief examiner was ready to help, as requested, she was prepared to pay in kind. The alarmed professor and examiner told her it was not part of his function to do what she wanted. The UTM, he said, is a merit-based examination. The woman, not giving up, asked for the hotel where the professor was staying. She offered to join him in the hotel later in the day. In another state, an invigilator lured a young lady to the control room with the promise that if she would cooperate with him, he would help her to pass the UTM. Other invigilators caught the 2 of them and promptly reported the matter. When the young lady's mother was informed about what had happened, her response was most unusual. She was not willing to press charges, or talk about the scandal. She was in fact not bothered at all. She would rather talk about something else. What did she want? She wanted JAMB to compensate her daughter with additional 10 marks or more, to make up for the sexual harassment. We were all alarmed. Strange things really happen. Someone then remarked that JAMB should take a decision and ban mothers from following their children to examination centers, and all husbands should be advised to keep an eye on wives who will go to any length to mislead their children. Again, the meeting did not concentrate on this delicate subject. But someone made a point. You see, this thing called corruption. It starts from the home. Many parents are setting very bad examples for their children. There is too much desperation in our country. The anti-corruption campaign should start with parents. Nonetheless, the meeting resolved that JAMB should introduce the use of electronic jammers at examination centers as part of measures to discourage center-induced malpractice. The results of 1,386 candidates found guilty of examination malpractice should be cancelled. 57,646 center-induced malpractice results should also be cancelled, while a supplementary examination should be held on July 1st, for candidates who lost time due to the malfunctioning of servers, technical and log-out issues, biometric verification-related issues, late registration due to no fault of theirs, incomplete results, and candidates of centers with mass malpractice but who are deemed innocent. The JAMB registrar further informed us that the examination body was ready to go to court where necessary to prosecute persons involved in examination malpractice, and that should any manager of a CBT center find it necessary to challenge JAMB in court, he and his team would be glad to meet such persons in court. I like Aloyd's spirit and the enthusiasm of his freshly energized team. The larger question is why examination, something considered a serious routine in other countries, is such a nightmare in Nigeria. Students cheat, parents collude with agents to help their children to cheat, examination consultants are worse. The kind of reports we receive daily about examinations in Nigeria sound fictional, but they are worrisome because they are real. It is tragic that our public examinations are no better than Nigerian elections. Just before the meeting ended, The representative from JAMB stood up and said he had a letter for the JAMB registrar. One of the JAMB officials who served as a proctor in JAMB State would need to assist the police with investigations into a case of examination malpractice and give evidence in court. Heard about that case. I have directed that the lady should leave for JAMB and stay there until you are through with the investigations. Who is her direct supervisor? A lawyer asked. One of the directors raised his hand. Doctor. That lady is excused from work until further notice. She should relocate to JAMB and assist with investigations. We will pay her DTA and provide whatever support she needs. Wherever there is any reported case, we must follow it up to prove that we will not tolerate any form of corruption or malpractice where our examinations are involved. The examiner from JAMB, you can keep her for as long as you want until you get to the root of the matter.